A very warm welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the official GKN Hydrogen virtual launch event. Well, we just started the show with a movie taking place in the future in the year 2030. And the movie was looking back into the past, into the year 2021. And to be more precisely, to the 11th of May. And that's correct, this is today. Our intention is to get us all ready and prepared to create a green and sustainable future for all of us together. And that's why I would like to take you to a little journey today around the world, and also we can travel in time today. My name is Claudia Bechstein, and it's a pleasure for me to be your host for today. In general, I love hosting events all about digitalization, transformation and sustainability, but I also have to admit that I'm pretty glad that I'm not alone in front of the camera today. And I love to introduce my charming co-host for today. This is Alfons Göke, and Alfons is Director of Business Development at GKN Hydrogen. Alfons, it's a pleasure to have you here.
Thank you very much for your kind words, Claudia.
It was always my dream to have someone on my side who can answer all those difficult questions where I do not have an answer for.
I will do my very best, and I guess we have a team back who will answer all the questions, I'm sure.
That sounds amazing. And
Claudia, I know that you have really a big passion for technology and also for digitization. So it is really my honor to lead through this conference with you.
So we're a great team today.
I hope so.
Cool, so let's go started. And right away, I would like to introduce to you the CEO of GKN Powder Metallurgy, and this is Peter Oberparleiter. He's not here in Bonn, he's in beautiful northern part of Italy, in Bruneck. Hey Peter, how are you doing?
How are you doing? I'm fine, how are you?
Oh, really great, good to see you.
Hello around the world. It's my great pleasure and my proud to announce today GKN Hydrogen. Since almost a decade, we have been working with a network of suppliers, customers, academia on developing on what we think is the most advanced system for hydrogen based on metal hydrides. Today, we feel in such good shape on the technology that we are ready to present to you all. Storage and transportation is seen as the missing bit to make hydrogen really work. As we have seen in the short film, in the introduction, climate change is out there. GKN Hydrogen, with this system, is happy to take a bit of share in changing the world, in making the world a bit greener, a bit better, to make it more sustainable, and to make it a better place for us and our children. Let me take the time to also thank to our people internally, where we had 5 a year ago, and now we are 50, but also to our partners, to academia, to our owners, Melrose, which are supporting our journey. We all know we are only at the beginning of the journey, and there is much more in the pipeline. Our slogan we always had in GKN Powder Metallurgy, the best is yet to come, was never more truth than now. Join me in the next 90 minutes on our journey through this storage, and I hope you feel some of the excitement I do right now.
Thank you very much, Peter, for your welcome speech, and we are very much looking forward to seeing you later today. Thank you. So, GKN Hydrogen is already represented on 2 locations, here in Bonn in Germany, and as you've seen right now in Bruneck, in northern part of Italy. But now I'm really excited. Where are you watching us right now?
Yes, definitely. We are, dear audience, and with that I would like to ask you to switch from the full screen mode back, and then you could please choose the chat window and just put in from where you are connected all over the world to us. That would give us a great impression. Thank you.
Yes, absolutely. And what do you think, Alphonse? Do we have 2 or even 3 continents or more? So let's check that out.
I think we have chance even for more. Let's see what comes out.
Yes.
Let's give it a few seconds.
Yes. So there's already coming in something on the screen. I see the US, California. Hi to California.
Hey, that's amazing. I see South America. It's Chile who somebody dialed in.
Oh,
Great.
beautiful. I've never been to Chile. It's on my list, definitely. Oh, and then I see, okay, there are more coming. Germany, of course, Italy. We also have someone from Spain.
And I see persons from Australia and even from India. So I guess we have the 4 continents together.
So again, welcome. And it's a pleasure for us that you are joining our live stream today. So our experts who will be speaking afterwards are also coming from various places all around the world. And in advance, we asked some experts and also some members from GKN to give us a brief and short insight what they think the world could be in 2030. And the exact question was, what would you personally say in relation to our topic today if you were to look back from the year 2030 to the year 2021? And here are some statements. Please enjoy.
In 2030, looking back, seems inevitable that there was always going to be the decentralisation of power generation, that the sun would become the new distribution and transmission network. However, it was not until storage, and in particular hydrogen storage in the form of metal hydrides, became technically and economically feasible that it became a reality.
Do you still remember in 2021 when the storage costs of renewable energies were huge and the technologies weren't that efficient? We even cut down our beloved forests to build solar parks. So we can really be proud of us what we've achieved until today.
It's 2030 and I've started thinking about bringing children into the world. This has only become an option for me as we've started to invest a lot more heavily into renewable energy resources, including alternatives for automobile fuel in the past 10 years, allowing my children to live in a world where we're proactively working against the climate crisis.
Looking back at the state of hydrogen storage in 2021 makes me very proud for just how far we have advanced this technology, and also makes me very excited for the future since we now just realize that we are only scratching the surface for all that hydrogen can do for this world.
When I think of 2021, I immediately recall the news how Tesla launched its Gigafactory in Berlin in the summer. Back then, we all thought that batteries were the answer to all our energy needs. But the more we learned about them, the raw material issues and the environmental impact, we realized that batteries cannot save our future and our planet.
In the future, when I look back to 2021 in the hydrogen industry, what I expect to see is this as a time when all the key pieces needed to enable hydrogen to be part of the energy transition to really fall into place. You know, the challenges of energy storage, the challenges of bringing the products and market to scale are really just happening at this point in time.
Hi, my name is Patrick, and when I look back around 10 years, I remember how people started to implement renewable energies more and more, but there always was an issue to store higher amounts of excess energy. Fortunately, these problems are history now because of the metal hydrides.
In 2021, our technology for hydrogen storage was ready for implementation. And due to the push of our children and Fridays for Future, it was getting real. And we could make the contribution to climate protection and change of our energy systems that we see today.
I have to say, I'm almost a little bit touched. Alphonse, these are motivating views, aren't they?
This is really exciting views we saw. I really like them. And with this, I really feel I want to get started.
Well, getting started is the right word, but before we do that, ladies and gentlemen, you can get in touch with us. You can write us your questions. So during the whole event and close to the end, we have a little expert talk where we will choose a few questions and answer them. And all you have to do is switch off the full screen mode, and then you see the little chat window, and you can write us your question. I'm very excited what you will send us. All right, so now I would say let's deep into a completely new world full of innovations. Please enjoy.
It is time to act. Together, we can stop climate change and air pollution. For ourselves and for generations to come. Every year, our global demand for energy is growing. And already today, sun, wind, and water power could provide more energy than we even require. But this green energy is not always available when we need it. The solution to this problem lies with storing it. That is where GKN Hydrogen comes in. Our green hydrogen storage solution is the most reliable system on the market. Due to its modular structure, it can be flexibly adapted to almost any storage requirement. Green energy from wind, water, and sun is converted into hydrogen. The hydrogen molecules flow into the storage center and are solidly absorbed in the metal mesh. The metal hydrides can last for decades without any losses. They are the most reliable and safest way to store hydrogen. When we need energy, the hydrogen is released from the storage and converted back into electricity and heat. The heat that is generated in this process can also be used and considerably increases the efficiency level of the whole system. The only waste product from the process is pure water. The GKN hydrogen storage system is safe, 100% recyclable, compact, and robust, and produces power, hydrogen, and heat. GKN Hydrogen brings safe, green energy to residential housing, industrial, and transportation sectors. Whether in microgrids, for emergency backup power systems, or energy conversion plants, the possibilities are infinite. Global climate protection is our mission. Transitioning to renewable energy is the answer. For pioneers, trendsetters, and innovators. For people who want to save the world. For a better tomorrow.
That's fascinating. I mean, it's a completely new world. And I have to say, it gives me positive feelings when I'm thinking about the future. But you can probably imagine that it was a long way until GKN has arrived right here to the launch day. And I have the next expert here next to me talking with me about the first steps. A very warm welcome to Guido Degen, COO Additive and Business Development of GKN. Hello, Guido.
Hello, Claudia.
Nice to have you here.
Thank
you. We also switch again to Brunig, and we welcome again Peter Oberpaarleiter together with the CDO of the GKN, Gottfried Rier. Welcome, gentlemen. Hello, Gottfried.
Hello, together in Bonn.
Hello. Well, gentlemen, as I just mentioned, it wasn't probably always an easy time, especially when you got started. And I have a few questions, especially about that period of time and also about your developments into this green hydrogen storage. And I'd like to ask Peter the first question. GKN actually comes from other areas, and of course I'm talking about the powder metallurgy. How was this idea born to develop hydrogen storage?
Yeah, we are powders, and hydrogen storage starts with powders. So we were looking around for opportunities in times of change, like we are in now, to develop new business streams. And that's brought us into hydrogen. You see on the slide that we are very, very strong, the number one actually on sinter metals products and the number two on powders. But already in 2013, starting of the last decade, we were looking for areas which were more sustainable. We looked for diversification, and we were already quite strong, and Paul is going to refer to that a bit later on digitization.
So I have another question for you, Peter. At the very beginning, when did you think that you could enter the market with this new technology? What was your time horizon?
You know, as always, time horizon is shorter than you think. We thought in a few years we would be there. Yeah, it took us 8 years now, and now we are ready to launch. But we are very, very happy that we started the journey. It wasn't always easy. We were a few times on the edge. But again, very, very happy now to be today in the position to launch a system which is almost unique on Earth. And again, looking at this slide, we start from powder, and we launched our additive business a few years ago in 2017, and now very, very proud to launch our hydrogen business. All of this is based on powders.
Thank you, Peter. Guido, I have the next question for you. So when you think back, how did you experience the first couple of years? And was there a moment of your biggest success where you were like, yes, we are on the right path?
For sure, Claudia. So it was a very basic start. We didn't start, by the way, in a garage. We used our labs in Germany and US. And with our advanced engineering team and the support of academia and some external partners, we introduced the metal hydride storage into our business. One of the first and major goals was to select the right material, because we as a business wanted to scale a product into the market, and our ambition was always to offer a safe product, a robust product for our customers, and a product which is able to be scaled. And that was what we did in the first couple of years. And you asked me about my first moment, I call it my unforgettable moment. And this was when we first had this metal hydride pellet after about a year. And we have been able to store hydrogen, the smallest atom, safely in that metal pellet. And this was just a so exciting time.
I definitely can imagine.
Yes. Motivated by that, we invested already a year afterwards in a test lab because next on the agenda was the lifetime, the robustness of this technology, what we proved. And we already used a pretty much data-driven approach, which helped us to give the reliability on the system. And another exciting moment I wanted to share is when we talked to a partner, and the partner told us, guys, you from GKN, you have the silver bullet. I was not quite sure what does it mean, yes? And then I went to Wikipedia, and it was really that we have a simple magic solution for a very complex problem. And I think that tells a lot.
Definitely, it must have been an amazing feeling.
Yes.
But, well, now I have a little personal question, and maybe you answer that to me. I'm not sure, but when you start something new, when you go like a development, when you do something, was there any time on your way where you were thinking like, oh my gosh, this is not going to work. We have to stop everything. It's just, no. It's not going to work.
Honestly?
Yes, please.
Okay, yes, it was, we have been acting as an internal startup. We have been embedded in a global corporation, but we had these days, after up, there was a down, and it was like a roller coaster, and we had these days. There was one moment where, after a couple of years, it was about 2015, when we asked ourselves, is this becoming a product? Is there a market behind? Because we so far have excited all the engineers on the globe. They liked it, but we didn't reach out to the customers. And this was for us a moment where we said we need to change something. We should go beyond our storage technology. That was a moment, but yeah, we continue. We are here today.
Yes, yeah. And really successful. Thank you for being so honest with us. So Gottfried, I have the next question for you. What exactly, after all those ups and downs we just heard, ultimately led to the decision to develop a fully integrated system?
Yeah, as Guido explained, we were very excited about the performance of the storage, and at the same time we realized that there was almost no interest on the market. Therefore, consequently, we did an analysis, a study to evaluate the energy demands of buildings in different climate zones. And during this study, we got the proposal to build a proof of concept unit within an old mountain chalet, which was located here in the South Tyrolean Alps, the so-called Knappenhaus. Imagine how exciting it was for us to implement an energy management system based on metal hydride storage into a historic building which had no connection to an electric grid. So we developed a technical solution to store and release the energy on demand by providing 100% CO2 neutral energy and heat to the chalet. Then in 2019, we had the inauguration ceremony. This was in summer 2019, with a lot of attention, not only on the local media. And since then, we got a lot of requests for new products from across the globe. And the system itself in this building is running since then very stable under tough weather conditions. Also during winter, when the temperatures are falling down far below -20 degrees Celsius.
Thank you, Gottfried. And would you share the status quo with us? Where are you today?
Yeah, motivated from the great success we got from the market, we worked on the further development of the system and of our technology. And I would say the most important point was that we optimized the design of our energy management system, and we had been able to reduce the footprint to a quarter of the space we needed initially in the Knappenhaus. And in the meantime, then, based on this design, we started producing 2 demonstrators. The first one is now in operation since November 2020 in Bruneck, here in the location where we are located. And the second one is now operative in Bonn. And you will maybe find out more about the system there. So I would say we are really ready to enter the market with our system.
Thank you very much, gentlemen. Thank you also to Bruneck. And ladies and gentlemen, GKN did not just work on this new technology. No, they also developed and invented a new brand and also a new business unit for these innovative storage systems. And now, ladies and gentlemen, we would like to unveil this to you. Please enjoy.
To find the right logo was a challenge to us. We have a very, very strong base business, and to combine the strengths of the base business with what is new in the hydrogen market was to find the right compromise. And I love what I see here, to change the arrows of the GKN with the signs we have on GKN Hydrogen, and also to change the color. Green, safe, and compact is really what our system is. We help the world to become CO2 neutral with clean energy and storage. And as the energy isn't always performed when it's needed, we need a storage. And here we are, GKN, with a safe storage, we consider the safest storage on Earth. You hear much, much more about in a minute. Green, safe, and compact. These are the main characteristics of our storage. We store green hydrogen from renewable sources. You see also, there are also other means of storage, like high pressure and batteries, but our storage will find its way. Let me come to present our systems we currently propose to the market. Actually, it's 2 systems comprising an electrolyzer, a metal hydride storage, and a full cell, which we call Mini. The Mini up to 25 kilos of hydrogen, up to around 400 kilowatt hours. The MIDI up to 120 kilo hydrogen and 1.2 megawatt hours, and the Hydrogreen Maxi, which is just a storage. We believe that's the biggest storage of this kind on Earth, with 260 kilogram of hydrogen to be stored, more than 4.5 megawatts of electric energy. I was talking before a bit about the core business. We aim to be number 1 or number 2 in all the businesses we are in. So we are number 1 in sinter metals, number 2 in powders, and we are on a good way to get into that world also on the additive manufacturing. So obvious that we aim to be in the top level also on the hydrogen, on GKN Hydrogen. This all is supported by a big business. We think we are best positioned to get into the top, supported by more than 400 engineers, by very, very strong partnerships, and a very strong, consistent digital culture. We already have 8 years of experience in hydrogen. I said before, more than 50 people working in that. And by the end of the year, we will have 16 demonstrators around the world. And my people will spend a bit of time in explaining more details.
Thank you very much, Peter. And now there's just one thing missing. We have to spread the word. And of course, we have to send out our new logo and our technology. We are going digital and we spread our technology into the virtual world right now. And that's why we are releasing also 2 new hashtags I have prepared for you. And hashtag number 1 is hashtag GKN Hydrogen, and the second one is HY2 ENERGY SYSTEMS. So, ladies and gentlemen, if you are active on social media like LinkedIn or Twitter, what about if we all prepare a post together? And you could write something like I'm just attending this exciting new launch event at GKN Technology, and we are sending it out all together. And I can already see Guido tipping on his phone, and I also see our gentleman in Bruneck. And now it's getting exciting because this is my first virtual ribbon cutting. And I am counting down 3, 2, 1, and go for hashtag GKN Hydrogen and HY2 ENERGY SYSTEMS. So our post is live. Here we are. Thank you for preparing that. And now we see hopefully a little bit more movement here on the screen. Guido, did you do this as well?
Yeah.
Okay, you're on it. Perfect. So we're uploading that. So if you join us, once again, thank you very much. Let's just give it a few seconds. I want to see what's happening. The next one is coming. All right, so thank you very much for joining us and also for posting. That was quite fun. I do not have time right now, but I promise I definitely send my post later when we are done. All right, so ladies and gentlemen, let's now go ahead. Thank you, Peter, and thank you, Gottfried. Let's now go ahead and we want to show you a real GKN hydrogen storage system. And I think I need to ask my director, are we outside? Perfect, because it was a little bit raining, we weren't sure. So my charming colleague Alphonse is already in front of the building, and he's next to the first demonstrator unit, the HY2 Mini. And he's not alone, he's together with Niels Bornemann. And Niels is GKN Vice President of Advanced Technology with a very particular focus on developments in hydrogen storage and in other systems. So, and he and his team has definitely playing a very important role for the overall development for the GKN hydrogen system. And I say hi Niels and hi Alphonse.
Okay, yes, of course. Claudia, hello. Claudia, I'm here outside with Niels. Well, Niels, you already presented. So we are out here in one of the first demo systems. So Niels, you're the expert. Could you explain to the audience what we see here?
Yes, sure. Thanks, Alfons. Here we see our HY2 mini system. That's the evolution of the system Gottfried mentioned, the Knappenhaus. And that's based on energy, on hydrogen as an energy carrier. And that's the key. So lots of hydrogen stored here, utilized electrically.
Okay. I guess there's a little bit of technology in it. So is it just a storage? Is there more? Can you explain how it works?
Yeah, let's have a look inside and see the different subsystems. So I can explain it a bit more. So here we go. Much smaller than the one you saw earlier. The main elements you see here, that's starting with the electrolyzer. So the hydrogen is produced here with a power of 2.4 kilowatt electrically. The hydrogen then goes through a quality control into this main element, the metal hydride storage. Guido already showed those material is inside. It's 10 kilogram of hydrogen stored here, which is roughly 330 kilowatt hour of chemical energy. If the consumer, the electric consumer, utilizes this hydrogen, it needs to be converted to electricity again. So therefore, we have an 8 kilowatt of fuel cell to transform it to electric energy. And these are the three main elements. And again, 10 kilogram is stored in such low temperature metal hydride.
Okay.
And that's what's in there.
Niels, so you're saying this is a difference from other hydrogen storage. This is the metal where the hydrogen is stored in.
Exactly.
Can you explain how many energy does this capture?
Here you have roughly 10 grams of hydrogen stored in this small disk. This is roughly 170 watt hour of electric energy.
Okay. So I remember 170, this is like a small battery for e-bikes, a small one.
Exactly, exactly.
But this is much smaller if I see the space.
The energy or the energy density of this material is really high, and it's higher than of batteries.
Okay, that's an interesting point. Niels, I'm just thinking about the use case. So what is the use case here at the site in Bonn? How do you apply it, and what is the final demand or user?
Here in Bonn, we built this system, and we power the system with a 10 kilowatt solar cell over there. And we take this energy from the sun, store it overnight, and during night, we charge our plug-in hybrids, pool cars from the company. So we have lots of them, and we charge them overnight with the energy from the sun.
So you are saying, because you might know it's a little bit cloudy and raining, also right now the fuel cell is working, so the energy is really used out of the storage, so it works.
Exactly.
Okay.
Now maybe because it's cloudy, usually during night, but
but
right.
it's also working. And well, for me this is really green mobility. There's really zero emission.
Exactly.
Perfect. Thank you. Well, I would say back to Claudia, to Studio A. Thank you. Thank you, Niels.
Okay, thank you very much, Niels Bornemann and Alfons Goike, and we will see you in a bit. So, ladies and gentlemen, now you can imagine the function, I think, much more vividly. So, all right, but we have invited much more experts to talk, especially also about market demands, scalability, and also market applications worldwide. But first of all, I would like to talk with Guido for a little bit. So, Guido, we've just seen the demonstration unit outside, and they were talking about that you can charge e-cars, especially here in Bonn. Is that the only application?
No, Claudia, for sure the range for applications is wide open. Based on our unique features or capabilities of the system, safety, robustness and compactness, we found a couple of great use cases, and you see it on the screen. We are focusing right now on microgrids and buildings. We have a couple of projects in industry and transportation sector. Power backups is huge right now, and autarky is a classical field for these kind of systems. Our challenge right now is to have a proper understanding of these specific demands and local requirements. You can imagine that a power backup station in California have a complete different use case than potentially in central Germany or somewhere else. So we need to understand these developments. That's the reason why we have great people around the globe and also strong partnerships.
Thank you, Guido. So I see there's really a broader application range. And yes, why not just moving around the globe and see where it is in other parts of the world? And I would say let's jump to, what about California in the US? Because there is our first guest, Emmanuel Wagner. And he has been with the California Hydrogen Business Council since 2012, and he has been Deputy Director since 2018. And we are very pleased that we got a short statement from Emmanuel that we pre-recorded earlier. So please enjoy.
Hello everyone, my name is Emmanuel Wagner. I'm the Deputy Director of the California Hydrogen Business Council. Interest in hydrogen has seen extraordinary attention in California in the last few years. California boasts the highest number of fuel cell electric vehicles on the road worldwide, and investment by private companies in the technology is unprecedented. Meanwhile, the state has adopted aggressive zero carbon energy and zero emission targets that hydrogen is well suited to meet. Public funding for hydrogen remains a fraction of that of battery technology funding. Nevertheless, the unique advantages of hydrogen for long-term energy storage, grid integration of renewables, grid resiliency, and decarbonization of the gas grid and other sectors will see the technology play an integral role in the future of the energy economy in California and the world. With the right public support and funding, we are convinced that there can be 1,000 hydrogen stations in California by 2030, 1 million fuel cell electric vehicles on the road. We see hydrogen truck corridors on our highways, moving goods with no emissions over long distances, and ports with hydrogen-powered equipment, ferries, and even ships. We see hydrogen turbines replacing gas turbines for power generation, and hydrogen injected into the gas pipeline system, as well as expanding the state's dedicated hydrogen network. It is a zero-emission, zero-carbon future, and we look forward to living the hydrogen life in California.
So we stay in California, and now I'm very much looking forward talking to Clark Crawford, and he is joining us live. Clark, are you there? There you are. How are you doing, Clark?
I'm doing fine. Thank you, Claudia.
Is the sun shining? Please say yes.
It's always sunny in San Diego.
Oh, you are so right. Clark, thank you so much for your time, and I prepared a few questions for you. So you are a strategy consultant at Dimensional Consulting, and you also advise GKN Hydrogen. How do you see the situation for hydrogen storage technologies, of course, in California? And most importantly, of course, where are the solutions GKN can offer for common challenges and problems?
Yeah, well, thanks, Claudia, for asking me to provide a perspective on the U.S. market. It's a particularly exciting time for hydrogen right now, with a great deal of interest and investment activity going on. I hope to give you some insight into the opportunity for hydrogen. Hydrogen has been at the forefront before, but this time is different. Due to the need to decarbonize, in addition to several factors that are converging to really accelerate the adoption of hydrogen. When I heard Emmanuel say, living the hydrogen life, I was reminded of this Jetsons cartoon, a very futuristic family living in the year 2062. If you look at what's trailing behind their vehicle, besides one of their family pets, it's a contrail of water vapor. So for generations now, the futuristic Jetsons have pointed us towards a clean energy future using hydrogen. And recently, Bloomberg pointed out the killer app for hydrogen may well be helping to electrify everything and what makes deep decarbonation possible. If I could advance to the next slide. Great, thank you. I'd like to discuss several of the market drivers that are converging to accelerate the adoption of hydrogen. At this point, large corporations have set aggressive carbon reduction goals. As an example, Microsoft wants to eliminate their dependency on diesel fuel by 2013, definitely impacting data center backup power. Government regulations and incentives are helping California to aggressively decarbonize its economy. Some of these goals include 100% renewable electricity by 2045, banning the sale of new gas and diesel vehicles starting in 2035, and state agencies are working aggressively to eliminate and decarbonize across broad sectors of the economy. The proposed Biden stimulus plan, as an example, includes extending the investment tax credit to energy storage, including advanced energy storage. And this financial vehicle was very important in the rapid adoption of solar. This is an exciting possibility that could provide 25% of the capital cost of hydrogen storage deployments. In California, it's becoming increasingly difficult to permit diesel generators for backup power applications at a time when hyperscale data centers are asking to permit backup power plants that would be the largest in the state. The California grid is also increasingly unreliable due to wildfire threats, and 2020 was a record-setting year. The preventative grid outages to reduce the threat of wildfire have greatly contributed to grid unreliability. And finally, a factor necessary to drive broad adoption of hydrogen is cost reduction of the production of hydrogen, with many analysts expecting green hydrogen to reach parity with gray hydrogen within the decade, and others predicting that occurring much, much sooner. So hopefully I've given you some insight into the situation for hydrogen and the market drivers for hydrogen storage in the US market.
Definitely. Thank you very much, Clark. I have one more question for you, if you don't mind. So GKN Hydrogen offers solutions for very different needs. I'm talking about the maritime business, transportation, of course, industry, power backups and microgrids, and of course, buildings. So where do you see an important need in the Californian market?
If I could have the next slide, please. Thank you. So we've seen battery storage progress from high power to long duration use cases as the costs have declined and the capabilities increased. Due to its duration advantage, the use cases where GKN hydrogen storage will most likely be desired are long duration applications, including load shifting, energy arbitrage, and renewables curtailment. In California, renewables curtailment is becoming a much more significant issue as renewables increase on the grid. And of course, the pandemic has reduced the load, which also has increased curtailment. This is an increasing need for renewable backup power, and the challenges include scalability. Communication towers require backup of 5 to 10 kilowatts for 72 hours. These requirements closely align with the capabilities of HY2 Mini and the METI products. In California, the state's Public Utilities Commission recently issued an order requiring backup generation at all communication towers in the state's most wildfire-threatened locations. And in so doing, the commissioners made it very clear that fossil fuel generation cannot be a long-term resiliency strategy. The backup market also includes hyperscale data centers. They require 100 megawatts of backup power for 48 hours. This will require many HY2 mega tanks operating in parallel to address the storage scale. The tank that you see in the photo in the background is the world's largest liquid hydrogen storage tank. And NASA has used that tank to help launch rockets since the Apollo astronauts went to the moon. This tank requires more than 100 truckloads of liquid hydrogen and is enough hydrogen to provide backup power for one hyperscale data center for 48 hours. So thanks for giving me an opportunity to say a few words about the future of hydrogen in the U.S. I'm energized by the broad range of applications for hydrogen storage. The market needs new, innovative hydrogen storage technologies, and the GKN hydrogen storage is one of those to help decarbonize the economy. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Clark, for your time, for your insights into the US market, and please send some sun to great Germany. Thank you, Clark. Bye.
Absolutely. Thank you.
So, yeah, well, now we are switching to other part in the world, because I promised we do a little around the world, a little tour around the world. And what about Australia? Because now we want to know how's the future and also the year 2030 in Australia. What are the drivers for hydrogen storage in Australia and of course for GKN technology? Paul Dalgleish gave us information about this in his statement that we pre-recorded earlier. And Dr. Paul Dalgleish has been CEO of Tempo Australia since 2019. And Tempo Australia is an integrated service provider serving customers all across Australia and among others, of course, also in the renewable energy sector. Please enjoy the statement.
The significant thing about Australia is that we're a very country when it comes to our transition to renewable energy. We have a number of key factors that play into this. One is that we have cheap coal and gas reserves, but we also have a large network of transmission and distribution because we're a very large country and we're very sparsely populated. So this then leads us to the problem of a large expense in our transmission and distribution, but quite cheap generation capacity. Transitioning to new and renewable energies means that most of it will come from solar because we have plenty of sun out here in Australia, but that means that we would need to distribute that across the country, which would, again, not be the perfect solution. The transition will come far more quickly and easily if we have battery storage. And when we're talking battery storage, and that's why we partner with GKN, we're talking about the ability to store hydrogen at high volumetric energy density, and that is in metal hydrides as solids, and then therefore be able to not have distribution networks. So in Australia, distribution networks mean a loss of security around supply because of the bushfires that happen, the long distances and the maintenance required. So we can lose them. We can also have a safety issue where the long transmission lines can cause bushfires. So if we can remove the transmission lines, we not only help security of supply, we also help safety from the bushfire outcomes. So that means that the localized generation and storage is the key item for us to get a transition to renewable energy. And it will be through solar and hopefully through hydrogen storage through metal hydride batteries. Therefore, the hydrogen storage is a solid, the highest density battery that you can make at the moment other than nuclear power, has 15 times the energy density of lithium. We're going to see that that is the solution that will be across Australia, we believe, and GKN and Tempo are well positioned to deliver that in the future.
So welcome back, Guido. After we had our excursion to the US and California market and then to Australia, now we're excited. What's about Europe? So what are your plans?
Yeah, first of all, let me mention we have so fantastic partners supporting us all around the globe, and that's really super important. Yeah, Europe has a very well-developed hydrogen roadmap and strategy. It's not yet fully harmonized, but Europe's background is Europe is densely populated, and we have already plenty of PV, we have plenty of offshore parks in the Northern Sea and so on. And our challenge is really to increase the efficiency here in Europe, yes, to make a better use out of this PV. And therefore, we need to have decentralized solutions and energy storages. And one of the key sectors we identified are residentials and buildings. I mentioned it before. And better, we have found a partner, a very passionate partner, a visionary. And yeah, I'm proud that he is talking next to you. And let's listen to him. Right?
Definitely, definitely. Thank you, Guido. And yes, now we are very pleased to welcome Christoph Gröner, and he's a key figure from the building construction sector and also a pioneer when it comes to implementing hydrogen storage systems. With an expertise of more than 25 years as a managing partner at the Gröner Group, Christoph Gröner is consistently pursuing his vision of a future-orientated real estate development in his company. And he is joining us not far away. I say hi to Cologne. Hello, Mr. Gröner.
Hello, Claudia. How are you doing?
Really good. How are you doing?
I'm fine. The weather is not fine, but we have a good mind.
I know. I already asked for some sun from California. So, Mr. Gröner, I would like to ask the first question. Of course, we are all eager. What is your green agenda with your company?
Let's talk about the green agenda from Gröner Group. It's not only an agenda we have for our company, it's agenda is in our company. So we're talking about green technology and all these in our company for the sites, for our own cars, for everything we are doing, for the management, the way it's working. Gröner Group is implanting green tech in the residential and the commercial sites, but it's to a philosophy is coming out from us. We all have children and we all are thinking about our world and the future. And that's what we want to transport in our philosophy. So first begin in our lives with our cars, take the train, take not very often the plans, look that the cars with the motors are not so big. And all this is a philosophy we are transporting to in our developments. So we know the carbon is our enemy. We know that the future of our world depends on a strategy in all sections of our lives. So we are a developer, so we have to look where we can implant green tech. And when we plan to integrate green tech and to reduce the carbon, we are using saving construction process. We have to look at the ecology mastermind in our buildings is a new mastermind. When we take PVs on the roofs, we have the sun for 6 to 8 hours, sometimes 10 hours, but the energy will be demanded in another time. So one of our key to work with the strategy PV is to storage the hydrogen as electric power in hydrogen. We have achieved, we are now planning in our new projects that we have the PV, but on the other side, we know that we are not longer able to storage the electric energy in batteries. We have to storage them in carbon, in hydrogen storage. So that's why we want to work very close with GKN, because we know that technology from this side is the best technology we have now to implement it in our development.
Thank you, Mr. Gröner. I have one last question for you. So what problems does GKN Hydrogen solve for you?
A few problems. First, when we want to take the solar energy with the PVs, we have a certain slot. And then we are not able to put the whole energy in the houses, in the living rooms, in the offices. And we have normally too much energy from 10 in the morning to 4 p.m. in the evening. So what we do with this energy, we take in storage by a hydrogen carbon storage and hydrogen storage. And so we have two things we can do with the energy. In Germany, in Middle Europe, many people are buying cars with on electric philosophy, electric cars, and we not have any longer enough energy in our cities to charge them. So, you know, you buy a car, an electric car, and you come home and you cannot charge it. It's a big problem. So politicians are not talking about this, but on the one time we stop to produce energy by the atomic centrals, and the other side we are selling many cars. Electric cars. So one of the problem we are cars in our garage, and we have not enough energy. So when we are able to take the PV and put it in hydrogen in the evening or in the night, we can charge the cars. That's one of the things. The other thing is, I think in the future of the developments in Germany and Middle Europe will be very hard on hydrogen in general. So at the end of the day, we can combine central heating with hydrogen. So if we are able to make hydrogen by the solar energy, we have another opportunity. We have energy we can use for climate, use for heating, use for producing warm water. So we have several problems who will be solved by the storage from hydrogen, and it will be a good combination with the future of development, commercial and residential, where we need to storage energy in all forms, and we'll have more hydrogen in the future by methane plasmalyse and so on. So for us, it's an ideal thing to work with GKN for the storage of hydrogen.
Thank you very much, Mr. Gröner, for your insights and for your time. We very appreciate that. And I say goodbye to Cologne. Thank you.
Thank you.
So, dear audience, I really enjoyed our little flight around the globe. We've been to the US and we've heard some insights about the Californian market. Then we switched immediately to Australia and we got some very good information there. Then, of course, I was talking with Guido about the European market, and then we had Christoph Gröner as a first pioneer planning to implement a green hydrogen large scale in his residential and also office buildings. Guido, is there anything you would like to add to my summary?
Yeah, maybe I should add that there's no doubt that there's a demand on the market. And you see here a couple of figures on the screen, the European roadmap for hydrogen, and you see this incredible increase of the green energy production from 1 gigawatt to 6 gigawatts in a couple of years, up to 40 gigawatts up to 2013, which reflects already 10 million tons of green hydrogen. And you need to store that green hydrogen somewhere, and that's where we come into play. Even if there's a smaller section available for our decentralized storage, the market is just huge. We have to develop the solutions and develop the market. So that's our challenge.
That's great, and thank you so much for the sum up. And now, ladies and gentlemen, before we go to the next expert talk, I would like to remind you that you can send us your questions. All you have to do, switch off the full screen mode of your laptop wherever you're watching us, and then there's this little chat window, and then you can send us your question. And a little bit later, we will pick a few and answer them. All right, so now we want to know what is actually so unique about the HY2 storage system compared to other mainstream storage systems. And this is what we are talking right now in Studio B. And this is to Alphonse. Are you there already?
Hi, Claudia. Yeah, back here from Studio B. And our topic is uniqueness of our H2 energy storage systems. And for that, I'm here with, also a unique person. So I'm here live with Niels again. You know him already. And again, Niels, thank you for joining us here. We count on your expertise. And then we have online Professor Klaassen, who is with us connected via MS Teams. And I would like to introduce Professor Klaassen. He is the director of the Institute of Hydrogen Technology, Helmholtz Institute, Hereon GmbH. And with that, no doubt that he's one of the global experts for metal hydride storage. So very warm welcome for you, Professor Klaassen.
Thank you very much, and also welcome from the windy North Germany.
Thank you. Yeah, we're in the cloudy middle now here, but we know future is blue, so we are on hydrogen. Thank you for joining us. Well, I would like to start with a question. We have heard a lot about the safety of hydrogen storage, and I've learned that especially the metal hydride that GKN is using is really safe. Could you both experts explain to the audience why is that? I don't know who wants to.
Let me take it as an example.
Thank you.
It's safe and compact. Imagine, we already talked about it, high energy density means, first of all, take other storage technologies, for example, compressed gas. If you want to achieve the same volumetric energy density with compressed gas, you need to utilize 800 bar storages, so lots of pressure. This would be one option. The other option would be you take liquid hydrogen, where you have a constant boil-off, so you constantly lose hydrogen. And that's also similar on the performance and storage density to this one. But this one needs and utilizes low pressure. And it's stored like a sponge, let's say. It's a metal, and the hydrogen is absorbed chemically, and then the metal hydride is formed, and that's sort of sponge way, and that's because it makes so safe. It's bonded to the metal, and that's the unique feature in terms of safety.
And that makes it so compact as well.
Okay. Exactly.
That's interesting.
So, gentlemen, I have to say it's really interesting listening to you. And now I really wonder if the metal hydride technology is also known broadly in the market. And, dear audience, I would love to test you if you are knowledge about our technology. So, gentlemen, should we do a little quiz with the audience together? What do you think about that?
I like the idea.
Okay.
Let's see.
Perfect. So then I quickly explain how it works. I have 3 questions for you, and every question has 3 answers. And I want to know if you know the correct answer. And I think you have, again, to switch off the full screen mode, and then you can see the answer. And then we go ahead. I read the first question. And this is 1. At what pressure does the HY2 storage system operate? Is it A, more than 350 bar? Or is it B, less than 45 bar? Or is it C, at exactly 700 bar? We give you a minute to think about that. I think I know the answer. Do you know the answer, Alphonse?
No, they will not tell you. So I would like to discuss more in detail with our experts. And I guess as long our audience is really guessing, I would like to give this question to you, Professor Klaassen. Can you tell a little about the specific of the pressure of the GKN material that is, let me say, in the metal hydride? Could you go deeper in detail for us, please?
Yes, of course. So the metal atoms attract hydrogen and chemically bond to the hydrogen. So they help us to get the hydrogen into the storage material, and this is why we only need moderate pressures, and hydrogen is also then released at moderate pressures. So this is an important aspect. Guido Degen and Niels Bornemann already pointed out that efficiency is very important, and this thermodynamics makes it much more efficient than compressed gas or liquid storage.
Okay, understood. Thank you for the explanation.
So, and now I'm curious, I need to ask the back office, can you show us the results of our audience? Oh my gosh, you are really good. It's 88% guessed the right answer. Really good. So that's fun. That's why I think let's go ahead with the next question. And this one is, what's the expected lifetime of the system? Is it A, more than 10 years? Or is it B, less than 8 years? Or is it C, more than 20 years? This I know as well. Alphonse.
I as well. Well, I was really astonished about the answer of the first one, so let's see how will be the second answer. But again, I would like to dive deeper in with the experts. So coming about the lifetime, what do you, Niels, I direct this question to you, what makes a lifetime or what is it and why? What are the, let me say, aspects behind that?
Yeah. The aspect about lifetime is, this is in a pressure vessel. So first of all, the lifetime is limited by regulations. You need to have the regular inspection and then you can utilize 20 years lifetime. But the material would honestly take more. Just an example also, not lifetime, but also performance I can give you. When we did the development of this material and this storage, I think some years back, we put one vessel after testing into the corner and filled it with 20% roughly of hydrogen. And we stored it there for 4 years. Just close the valve and let it sit there for 4 years.
It was idle there?
Idle there.
Okay.
Usually from other technologies, you would expect hydrogen diffuses through everything and then the hydrogen goes out. After 4 years, we put it again on a test bench and had exactly the same amount of hydrogen in it and exactly the same performance after 4 years of idle mode. And that's really for hydrogen storages a unique feature again with this. And again, 20 years is a limitation from regulations, I would say.
So energy was kept inside at the same level as it was put inside. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Niels. And now I'd love to see the results from the audience. Okay, a little, only 75%. So there's hopefully some knowledge spread by Niels. All right, so let's come to the last and third question. And this is, how many percentage of its original energy capacity does the HY2 storage have after 5,000 full circles? Is it A, less than 90%? Or is it B, less than 85%? Or is it C, more than 98%? And I do not have a clue.
That's a more tricky one. Yeah, again, let's ask the experts. Professor Claassen, I would like to handle over this question to you. Can you explain us what are the aspects and the technology behind it? How is that with the metal hydride storage GKN uses? Please go ahead.
So this is a big advantage of metal hydrides, for example, over batteries that lose capacity with every cycle. Metal hydrides, as long as you provide the hydrogen that comes from your electrolyzer, which has a purity of 5.0, will not lose any capacity. So it really stays at 98% capacity. It only loses if you have impurities coming in. And this is also an advantage because it will keep impurities in and only provide the purest hydrogen to the fuel cell. So this is important also to keep the lifetime of the fuel cell.
Okay. Thank you. So just want to summarize, that means the only aspect that is limiting factor is the purity of the hydrogen.
Exactly.
And as this is normally guaranteed by the electrolysis, we can say 20% and the 20 years and the cycles go on, no loss of energy, and with the effect of even cleaning some impurities, sounds very safe and also very sustainable. Thank you very much for this answer.
Thank you. And now can we please have the results of the last question? Oh, you're really good. 88%. That was really amazing, and I have to say we have an audience with lots of knowledge about our technology, and thank you so much for participating. Well, we learned many things today about the technology and especially why it is so superior compared to other mainstream storage systems. Because these insights has been known in specialist circles and so far not been used on an industrial scale, but I am pretty sure that will change pretty soon from now on. So, okay, I would say let's go ahead, and personally there is one special topic I am very much interested, and we have not talked about this right now, and I would like to ask our experts, could you tell us a little bit more about the recyclability of the GKN hydrogen storage system?
Okay, I would like to pass again to Professor Claassen. Niels, if it's okay?
Yeah, sure.
Professor Claassen, would you like to answer the recyclability topic?
Yes, of course. The hydrogen storage system by GKN perfectly fulfills the cradle-to-cradle principle. So you can always recycle the tank to give you another tank again. So it's perfectly suited for EU policy. In contrast, for example, to the compressed gas storage in carbon fiber reinforced composites, where you can only recycle to lower quality products, but you will never get a tank out again. So the GKN material has a recyclability of 100%. So this is really benign to the environment.
That's good to hear. Thank you. So the advantage is really that we are using pure iron for the metal that is storing it, as well for the tank. Thank you very much for this.
Yeah, thank you, gentlemen, for your insights. And now I would say let's go ahead with the third expert talk. And now we are talking about digital industrialization. And to do so, we will switch again to Bruneck and we will talk to Paul Meyer. And Paul is a member of the executive team as CDO of GKN Powder Metallurgy since November 2020.
And before we do this, I would like to show a small, let me say, view on our system, and this is a view from the user of it. So how do users already using this technology feel, and what are their impressions? So please, let's see the video.
Yes, that's a great idea, Alphonse. Thank you so much.
Ja, hallo, mein Name ist Matthias Innerbichler. Ich sitze hier bei Rosa im wunderschönen Knappenhaus. Bin heute wieder zu Besuch und wir möchten uns ein bisschen unterhalten, welche Erfahrungen sie so gemacht hat.
Mein Name ist Vega Rosa. Ich bin in diesem Haus aufgewachsen. Das Haus wurde von meinen Eltern gekauft. Mein Mann und ich haben es renoviert. Und im Haus selber war immer das Haus war nie an das öffentliche Stromnetz angeschlossen, sodass wir eine kleine Wasserkraftturbine hier haben, eine eigene. Und durch einen Zufall sind wir auf die Wasserstofftechnologie der Firma GKN gekommen und profitieren natürlich stark von diesem System.
Das Haus, das Knappenhaus, wird seit 2019 mit regenerativer Energie und dem Energiespeichersystem HY2 versorgt. Wie ist das Leben mit dieser innovativen Technologie?
Ich fühle mich auch aber deswegen gut, weil natürlich diese Technologie in diesem Sinn hier gar nicht spürbar ist. Es gibt sie quasi nicht. Sie ist im Nebengebäude angesiedelt, es ist ein eigener Raum. Wir selber merken davon nichts. Es gibt also keinen Einschnitt in unseren Alltag, aber gleichzeitig auch das Bewusstsein für die Natur und für die Umwelt etwas zu tun, ist natürlich ein positiver Grundgedanke, eine positive Stimmung, wenn ich in das Haus reingehe.
Aha. Du spürst vom System nichts? Musst du keine Kompromisse im täglichen Leben eingehen?
Wir müssen keine Kompromisse eingehen. Nein, ganz sicher nicht.
Also was bekommt ihr dann vom System mit? Muss man das System im Detail verstehen, um es zu bedienen?
In keiner Weise, nein. Also für den natürlichen Ablauf, für den natürlichen Tagesablauf braucht es kein besseres, kein größeres Verständnis der Technik.
Wenn du an Sicherheit denkst, wie passt da das HY2-System herein?
Das System ist so konzipiert und so auch verbunden mit der Zentrale, dass jede Störung vermeldet wird. Jede Störung wird auch sofort behoben, jede Störung wird auch zentral, nicht im Haus selber geregelt. Das heißt, es gibt da ich könnte keine Sicherheitsbedenken. Dann gibt es wohl eher vielleicht, wenn jemand mit Gas oder mit Erdöl heizen würde, Sicherheitsbedenken.
Würdest du anderen diese Technologie grundsätzlich weiterempfehlen?
Ich würde auf jeden Fall alles weiterempfehlen, was die Umwelt schützt. Ganz bestimmt. Und es ist mit Sicherheit im Moment auch eine Frage, inwieweit die Menschheit noch länger unter diesen Bedingungen leben kann. Wir sehen ja die Veränderungen, die klimatischen nicht. Also von daher würde ich es auf jeden Fall weiterempfehlen. Ganz bestimmt, ja. Mhm.
So, our conversation with Matthias Innerbichler, Director Business Development Hydrogen Systems at GKN Powder Metallurgy, together with Rosa Griesmeier, owner and resident of Knappenhaus, we have recorded earlier. And I have to say, this is really an awesome project. I would love to visit it. All right, so Alphonse, I need to head back to Studio A, and I would say I'm handing over to you to the next session, your talk with Paul.
Thank you. I will do my best here. Okay. Yes, and our talk is about industrialization, digital industrialization. And hello, Paul, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you very well.
Perfect.
Greetings to Bonn, and
Hi.
good to see you. Long time not seeing you, Alphonse.
Hi, same to you. Paul, I guess with the pilot project of the Knappenhaus, well, GKN already has proven on a long-term base and with really tough conditions the capability. So the system is validated. But before going on, I would like to have a look on the title. So yeah, you are the CDO for the company. So digital industrialization, difficult to pronounce for me. But what I wonder more is why GKN all the time focus so strongly on digitalization. Could you explain?
Yeah, of course. And well, I'm with PM just for a couple of years, and obviously their journey started already 10, 15 years ago. So their digital journey was even before my time, but that's part of the digital culture of PM. So they have been always focusing to get transparency, to get good data out of the system. So over the past year, they have been investing in IT system, connecting the machines, connecting our quality stations, implementing IT solutions, even connecting our people, and all with the purpose that we get real-time insights, that we get transparency, we can understand where there are performance losses, and that overall we are moving quicker in developing new solutions. And that's where we are. And as we strongly believe in this digital culture, we now would like even to move further. So out of this IoT journey we have completed already, we would like to move now to the next level, which is the so-called Internet of Behavior. So not just to use data for transparency and taking action, but even using data to trigger the behavior of the organizations. So the next challenge for us is that we look into gamification, we look into digital challenges, because that's triggering this behavior. So a new area, but I'm convinced that with this digital culture we have developed over the past year, we will be able to gather even more value out of the data and to develop new solutions for our customers, for PM, for our shareholders, for our employees.
Thank you, very interesting. Paul, now I want to come to the system, and I imagine the industrialization of such a hydrogen energy system, the HY2 system, is quite a big challenge. So can you tell us how the digital journey and the digitization really helps maybe to shorten, to improve the development? Could you tell us about this?
Yeah, actually you touched already the point, and I think the straight and plain answer forward is speed, yeah? Because digital solutions, digital data, what it really does, it speeds up the processes, because as explained before, it helps to understand where the problem is, it helps to get insights and to immediately move into an improvement cycle. And you mentioned it, this HY2 system, it has complexity in itself, because you have to bring together different elements, so it's quite key that you have such a digital landscape. to support this industrialization cycle. So same effort we put in industrializing the hardware, we also did the same for the digital solution. So we have implemented sensors. We have really worked on edge solution to take out the data, to move it into our cloud, and then once we have it there, we could then run the analysis, and that helped us then also to find the problems, but then even go further to develop new solutions and new services.
Okay, well, this is really interesting how the digitization speeds up developments and can support to improve systems further by data. And with this, it sounds like for me like the data is golden, so has a high value. Can you share maybe some examples on how the data we gathered, how they were used to improve the system today, and also give us a view on tomorrow?
Yeah, I really like this question because that's what I really like to do. Talk about tomorrow's future, talk about customers' future, customer value. I would say that PM has a good history in it, because whenever what we did, we always have been focusing on designing our solution for tomorrow's future and for our tomorrow's customer. Yeah, so also on this one, what we did is also with this data, we started to develop certain solutions. You can now see on the screen a first, let's say this is the demo version of the app, but obviously there's also a live app. By the way, you can get access to this app by getting on our website or just scanning this QR code, and you will get then access to the demo. Once you buy our system, you obviously have then live data of your system. But this is just the starting point. So today we are in a phase to make our system smart, that you get as a customer real-time insight, you get the performance tracking and so on. But as we are collecting all the data of all our system, we learn. And that's obviously this learning, we turn it into some benefits. So the next level is obviously that we look into remote monitoring and control. We look into advanced performance management. And finally, as part of our digital vision, what we are really looking forward is a full customer service solution, or even going beyond then looking to new business model like energy as a service. So if we think about this vision, we basically will develop tailored and personalized solutions for our customers powered by machine learning. So at the end, what we really would like to get is the best, the most smart, innovative energy management solution on the market. That's our vision.
That sounds really, really smart. Thank you for your insights. And well, I really think this will be a still ongoing, fascinating journey. And I'm really curious to learn more about your journey over the next coming months. And with this, we're at the end of the talk, and I hand over to Claudia again to Studio A. Thank you very much. Paul.
Yes, thank you so much, Alphonse, and I hope I see you in a bit. So, ladies and gentlemen, we've seen and heard so much about GKN Hydrogen and also HY2 ENERGY SYSTEMS. And now it's time to talk to you, because I got some questions, and I also have some experts here right next to me who will answer your questions. And I'm going to welcome again Guido. Nice to have you here.
Claudia.
And we also say hi again to Brunek, and I see Peter and Gottfried.
Hi again.
Hello.
Hello.
So I got the questions right here. I'm going to read it. Okay, so the first question I think goes to Guido. How can I learn more and contribute to GKN Hydrogen success?
Yeah, very good question. You know, we came out of the shadows in the last couple of weeks. We haven't been a bit hidden. We are now openly showing up at conferences. We have a new social media channel, GKN Hydrogen. We have a new website coming up and going live tomorrow. These are all the modern tools where you can connect to us. We will by far more inform you about what we do, our challenges and our progress. But I think that's a proper way to involve you more.
Thank you, Guido. And the next question, Peter, goes to you. How do you close gaps in needed skills? And have you hired already external?
As before, we have the privilege to have 400 engineers, and you have here at Paul, a lot of skilled people in the area of digital. So we can take out of a source of talent. But we already hired on the external market because hydrogen is a different topic. It's a very competitive topic, and together with the talent issue we are going to face, it isn't that easy. What we see is that people, young people especially, are very, very open for this technology. They like it. They like to contribute to our planet getting safer, getting greener. And that gives us a lot of response, and we feel quite happy to have the response we have out there. And we keep hiring, and let's take also this occasion here to come to us. Girls and boys, help us to make out of this technology really a great thing. We need you all.
Thank you, Peter. And I have one last question for Gottfried. What is the biggest challenge in global industrialization?
Yeah, we had a lot of different challenges over the last period of time, but the biggest challenge right now is to get the system compliant.
Okay, I think we have some problems because it's live, and when it's live, sometimes things can happen. So could you answer the question, Guido?
For sure, I'll do my best, Gottfried. So our challenge is really, first of all, to have a certified system in place, and here we are really on a very good way. But these kind of certifications are different in California, are different in Australia, are different in Europe. Even in Europe, we have some differences, and Gottfried and his team need to cope up with that. So that means they need to develop all these certifications, and I think that's quite a challenge, yes, even if he is on the good way.
All right, Gottfried, are you back? Not really. Okay, so then we leave it what it is, and well, we almost have reached the end of our journey, and the only thing that is missing right now is to take a look into the future. What is happening the next month, years, and especially how does the future in 2030 look like? So Guido, first of all, I would like to ask you, could you share with us what are the next steps with the GKN business, and especially we want to know what is in your head, what is in your plans when we're talking about the next 12 months?
Yeah, on the next 12 months, we have a straightforward plan. We will install further systems on the market. That's what you see on the screen. We plan to have 16 systems up and running globally. It's a field test to prove the system even more, to have reliability, to generate more data, but not just generate lab data. We want to generate global data. And most importantly, you need to show this to your customers, yes. And if you have seen, and we made the experience in Bruneck and Bonn, when we have invited customers, they see that system up and running, they're excited. And that's what we will do. We have systems from California to Canada, US, also down to Australia and in China. That's our plan for this year.
All right. So I just heard that we have some problems with the connection with Bruneck. So could you answer a question that I was supposed to ask Gottfried about concrete steps in terms of industrialization?
Yeah, again, I'll do my best here as well. So yeah, we have a clear plan. In the next couple of months, we will come up with further beta systems. You have heard and you have seen today the mini system. The MEDI system will come later this year. That's a further development and expansion of the mini. Mega system, you will see it in a second. We are really proud of this, of the world's largest storage. All these systems will come up in the next couple of weeks and months. And Gottfried and the team is already working on the next generation with all the improvements, which is coming up somewhere in spring next year. Finally, in 2023, we'll scale up our production. On the capacity side, I mentioned already, we are limiting ourselves right now to 15 systems because we need to have a further proper development before we jump into a scale up. And next year, our capacity will be around 100 systems. And then from 23, when we open to the market, we will produce the systems where the market is. So right now, we produce all the systems in Bruneck. because we have to develop the assembly lines and all that stuff, includes certification. But in 23, if we have a demand in Australia, a huge demand, we will produce in Australia. If we have it in Canada, we will produce it in Canada. But that's what we need to learn the next couple of months.
Right, thank you, Guido. So I can see Gottfried and Peter. Are you hearing us? We have a connection again.
Very well. We could hear you, yeah.
Perfect. Gottfried, just do you want to add anything to what Guido just said, or are you agreeing with everything?
I'm absolutely d'accord with what Guido has said, so there's nothing to add. Just the last bit is we have prepared a short video to give you an impression of where we are right now in the development of our industrialization. And I would say, yeah, let's start the video.
So that was really impressive, and I have to say you can already see that GKN is so advanced in production of your HY2 storage systems. So Guido, one more question. How does the commercial path look like? And I think the most important question for the whole day, I am asking you, when are you entering the market?
Yeah, I thought we are entering today the market. That's a market launch, and it should be a lot of fun to sell these fantastic products. And for sure, we will continue, as said before, our launch phase and the development phase. We will strengthen our current partnerships we have. We will look for further partnerships, and that is the plan for the next 12 to 18 months. We will grow with selected customers, also mainly partners, before we open the market, as mentioned before, in 23. One important piece, and we discussed this also, is our targeted markets today are for sure Europe, where we are sitting. It's US, there's huge demand. We talked about California, we heard Australia, where hydrogen is high on the agenda, and for sure also Canada. So these are the markets where we have established plans, where we have teams around, and that's our focus until mid of next year potentially. Afterwards, we will for sure extend our market presence to India, to China. These are huge markets, potentially the largest markets. We have sites there, we have people there, but again, we need to find the right pace and to offer to our customer a good product.
Thank you, Guido. Well, and Peter, you have opened our event today, and of course it's on you to say the last final words to our audience worldwide. So what is your closing message?
Yeah, the closing message, we have listened to internal and external experts. Quite amazing what's going on out there. You know, for me, just impressive, the plan of the European Union, and that's just Europe, to get to 10 million tons of hydrogen in less than 10 years of green hydrogen. It needs to be stored. So looking down from 2030, I think there's a huge opportunity in front of us. We need all of you listening around the world, our partners, our potential customers, mainly our employees, and as said before, more talent to accomplish what we have in our plans. And today was really the launch of something which we expect to get really big. And let's close with green, safe, and compact, which are the main words for GKN Hydrogen.
Thank you so much, Peter. Thank you for your final beautiful words. And also thank you to Paul. Thank you, Gottfried. It was a pleasure talking to you. And I say goodbye to Brunek. Maybe I should visit you one time. And also Guido, thank you so much for answering all my questions. It was so much fun and also interesting talking to you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Claudia.
All right, so then, Alphonse, where are you?
Just running in.
Running in. I was way faster than you. Alphonse, I can't really believe, but those 90 minutes were just flown away so quickly. And unfortunately, we reached the end of our journey today. How you think? How was it for you?
It was exciting, fast. As you say, time passed by very like flying. So I liked it very much. Thank you. And really, now to the audience, I hope that you also enjoyed the other 90 minutes and it was entertaining and hopefully worthwhile as well for you.
Yeah, I hope so too. And of course, also a big thank you to all dialogue partners, to the experts, to all members of GKN who gave us statements, who were here live talking with us. We really appreciate it. So thank you so much.
Again, thank you. Stay in touch with us and feel free, please, to go on writing us to the chat box. Go on with this and follow us as well on social media. And
yes,
again,
not only social media. So tomorrow we are going live with the website www.gknhydrogen.com. You can visit the site because you know you are special today because you got the first insights to our technology, to all the talks, and tomorrow everything goes live. Yeah.
And let us, we want to surprise you. Visit the webpage. Thank you for having joined.
Yes, and so my final words are, let's just continue working together to create a green and sustainable future for all of us, for our families, and also for this beautiful Earth. And as we could see already today, GKN Hydrogen is going already ahead. So 90 minutes are over. Maybe a little bit more, but I say also thank you, Alphonse. It was so much fun hosting the show with you.
Thank you. Pleasure was mine.
And we say goodbye to you. Thank you.
Goodbye.
Bye.
Thank you.